Namo Buddhaya, Sukhyanto, brothers and sisters. This is an additional reflection. It's a daily reflection that I got from AVMC. They do it for the Abhidhamma study group, and they do a reflection on cultivating good character as a practitioner. So I actually got permission from CLA and AVMC to try this out, okay, in whatever way I want to. So maybe at the end, towards the end, when we have our casual discussion, maybe you would like to give us some feedback. What do you think of this contemplation? Because it's important to cultivate good character as a practitioner in our daily life. Okay, and although things are very simple, and in fact, it's all common sense, but it is common sense that is not common, and we often overlook in our daily interaction. So the first character to nurture is integrity. Integrity means to be honest with myself and others. A person with integrity does not tolerate hypocrisy. He speaks only the truth and does not flatter others for the sake of self-interest. Second, good character to nurture, be teachable. Whenever advice and criticism is placed to me, I will learn to examine myself without getting angry or defending myself. When the teacher points out my shortcomings, I will not be stubborn and insistent on my own opinions. 3, be gentle. I will be gentle, soft, modest, and graceful in behavior, speech, and thoughts. I will treat all friends in the Dhamma equally. I will learn to develop loving kindness and compassion to others and not to be hard-headed. 4, be modest. I will not take pride in my birth, appearance, education, family lineage, knowledge, and spiritual achievements, for none of them is permanent. I'll try to be humble and prudent at all times. 5, be respectful. I will always hold gratitude to my teachers, for they teach us selflessly. They practice the Buddha's teaching first, and then guide us on the path to liberation. When I am with the teachers and the elderly, if they are sitting, I will not stand high. I'll be sitting at a lower position. If the teacher is standing and talking, I will stand and not sit comfortably in a chair or cross my legs. When I meet the teacher, I will put 2 palms on the chest and bow slightly, showing respect through modest behavior. I will always be respectful when serving the triple gem. Be mindful of my actions, words, and thoughts. When being with the teacher, I will not talk continuously and loudly, using excessive gestures or interrupt the teacher's words. I will not develop any delusion or arrogance because of my service to the triple gem. I will not be carried away and behave disrespectfully towards the teachers if I am in frequent contact and work closely with them. 6, have the courage to admit my mistakes. If someone is kind and compassionate enough to point out my mistakes, I will apologize immediately and ask for forgiveness, instead of trying to find an excuse for myself. A person with strong ego and arrogance has much hindrance to make progress in their practice. 7, be grateful. I must keep in mind that I've received great help from my parents, teachers, friends, the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and many others. I will always have gratitude in my heart. 8. Be tolerant. I will learn to put myself in other people's shoes in order to see things from different perspectives. I'll learn to tolerate, to forgive, and to accept. 9. Don't criticize others lightly. I will learn to refrain from criticizing others, for this only feeds hatred and self-conceit in the mind. I know I'm not perfect myself. When I see a person of virtue, I will emulate him. When I see a person of bad behavior, instead of criticizing, I will turn inwards and examine myself to see whether I have his same shortcoming. It's better to learn to criticize myself rather than to criticize others. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we will start today, okay, for the lesson on the last lesson on the last attribute, Bhagawa, which actually means the Blessed One. Okay, and then later on, we will do a brief revision of chapter 1 to chapter 9. Now, Buddha, every Buddha is called Bhagawa. Every Buddha. It means the Blessed One. Okay, like what Venerable Sariputta says, it is not a name that you are given during your birth, but a name obtained by all Buddhas upon enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Okay, where the Buddha realized of decent knowledge and wisdom, which brought blessings and benefit to all beings. Therefore, the Buddha is called Bhagawa, the Blessed One. Now, what blessings does the Buddha have? 1, the Blessed One is all-knowing with omniscient knowledge. Okay, so it means that the Buddha relies omniscient knowledge and wisdom under the tree of enlightenment, which brought blessings to all beings. Okay, without this omniscient knowledge, the Blessed One would not be able to bring so much blessings to the world. 2, blessed with auspicious qualities. The Blessed One has uprooted all mental defilements. That's why he's called an Arahant. Next, he has crossed the ocean of samsara and landed on the shore of liberation, meaning the Blessed One has attained Nibbana, the ultimate bliss. Next, he has made an end of any kind of becoming. No more rebirth, no more becoming, no future birth. For he has developed fully Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, virtue, concentration, and wisdom. And lastly, he has obtained mundane and supramundane bliss. And because of all these auspicious qualities, therefore, lay people can take refuge in the Buddha in order to be protected and freed from fear. Okay, and in addition to obtaining mundane and supramundane knowledge. Next, blessing. The Buddha, the Bhagawa is called Bhagawa. The Buddha is called Bhagawa because he's blessed with skill in analyzing and classifying the Dhammas. And fourth, the blessed, the Buddha is able to classify the Dhammas into kusala and akusala Dhamma, wholesome and unwholesome, into the 5 aggregates, next, into the 6 sense bases and 18 elements, into the 4 noble truths, into the 5 sense faculties, and into dependent origination, paticca samuppada. So these are all the various classification of dhammas that the Buddha is able to do. Next. So Arahant, the destroyer of the spokes of the wheel of rebirth, and you can see the karmic link. Okay, and okay, so you can see that arising and sensation of dukkha. Okay, arising is if you look at the chart, it's on a clockwise basis. Okay, and also sensation is the same thing because there is forward and backwards. Okay, when we chant the paticca samuppada, and it stops at decay. Once decay, we have rebirth. Okay, I think there is a birth, decay, becoming, and then birth, decay, and ignorance, and start all over again. Okay, next. So in the Buddha's words, a summary of what dependent origination is, it must mean sati idam hoti, imasa upada idam upajati. It must mean asati idam na hoti, imasa niroda idam nirucchanti. It's good to memorize these precious words. And the meaning is, when there is this, that is. With arising of this, that arises. When there is not this, that is not. With the sensation of this, that ceases. So what is this and what is that? This is the cause. Yeah, this is the cause, and that is the effect. Okay, so all this actually, in short, is we are talking about causes and conditions. Okay, so Bhagavantu, fortunate, a pleasant one, that's what the term means. It signifies the respect and veneration accorded to the Buddha as the highest of all beings. And also because of these special qualities, there is omniscient knowledge, auspicious qualities, skill in analyzing and classifying Dhamma, and also the 10 powers of a Tathagata. So what are the 10 powers? Okay, it's all inside your book. The possible as possible, the impossible as impossible. The results of action are undertaken in the past, present, and future with possibilities and causes. The ways leading to all destination. The world with its many and different elements. How beings have different inclinations. The disposition of the faculties of other beings, other persons. The defilement, the cleansing, and the emergence in regard to the jhana, liberations, concentration, and attainments. And recollection of his manifold past lives. And with the divine eye, the Blessed One, the Bhagawa, is able to see beings passing away and reappearing in their birth of existence according to the karma. And then the Blessed One enters upon and abides in the deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of the taints or kilesas. Okay. Next. Okay, the Blessed One is blessed with the 6 mundane dhammas. You all like to share what is the mundane dhammas? Anyone? Anyone like to share?
Yeah, is can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Is the lordship, doctrine, fame, glory, wish, and effort.
Very good, very good. Okay. You like to explain at least one of the dhammas? The first one, lordship. What do you mean by lordship?
Oh, lordship is he surpassed he has the wisdom to clearly see how phenomena both internal and external, governed by the laws of causality and mere empty illusions. Mere empty illusions.
Okay,
That means,
sadhu, sister.
yeah.
Yeah, next volunteer, please. Doctrine.
Madeline,
Yep.
I talk about the doctrine.
Yeah.
The Buddha knew the many supreme mundane dhammas, namely the 4 paths, Sotapatti Mecca, Sakadagami Mecca, Anagami Mecca, and Arahanta Mecca. The 4 fruits, Sotapatti Pada, Sakadagami Pala, Anagami Pala, and Arahanta Pala, and reach Nibbana.
Yeah.
Good.
So these are all the stages of sainthood. And in the stages or attainment of stages of sainthood, we have the Magga and Pala. It is at the Pala stage that the defilements has been uprooted and eradicated completely. And in the Pala stage is actually enjoying the bliss of the eradication of the defilements. And lastly, Nibbana, the ultimate bliss. So that is the 9 supramundane Dhamma. So anyone like to share about fame?
Can I?
Yes, please.
Okay. Fame. The fame is the Buddha is spread throughout the sensual realm, the fine material realm, and the immaterial realm.
Yeah.
Can you explain with what is the mean for the material realm and the immaterial realm? Maybe later on. Thank you.
You mean the 5 material realm, is it?
Yeah.
The 5 material realm is the Rupa Loka. Okay? Where all the Brahmas dwell in. And the immaterial realm is the Arupa Loka. So you need to look at the 31 planes of existence that we learned. Yeah. So this Brahma realms is above the six heavens. So in the immaterial realm, there is no Rupa. That's why it's called Arupa, no Rupa. No body, only the mind exists. Okay, in the 5 material realm, the Rupa is very, very subtle. Very, very subtle. Okay, and there's one Ansanya Sutta where there is actually no mind. Okay, this one particular realm. So under the fame is, that means it's throughout The Buddha fame is spread throughout the 31 planes of existence. That's what it means. Okay, and all the 31 planes. And also in the book, they give you example, 31 planes of existence. Any other things you want to know about the planes of existence?
Excuse me, Brother Lim.
Yeah.
I have a question here. I read somewhere before, like those who lives in the no mind, as you say, no mind realm, they
Yeah.
actually cannot be taught Dhamma, right?
Yes.
So it's not an advantageous plane. It's actually worse than human. Is that right?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
In a way, yes.
I need to study more. Thank
Yeah,
you.
in a way, yes.
Mm,
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one is the next Dhamma is glory. Okay, and any like to share?
Brother Lim,
Yes.
the Buddha has glory in physical form, perfect in all limbs and extraordinary dignified appearance.
Yeah.
Give gladness and comforting to all those who see him.
Yeah.
So the merits he accumulated from years of practicing parami have 32 marks of a great man.
Thank you, sister. So here there's actually two parts when you talk about glory. The first one is because of the merits accumulated, okay, from years of practicing his parami. He has the 32 marks of a great man. And in addition to his physical perfect body, the Buddha possessed purified speech and the pleasant and comforting voice that suit the heart. Okay, like in the book, they talk about the story of Yasa, obedient and son. So last night I actually download the one of a short clip of Yasa, who actually wanted to jump off from the cliff. Okay, and Buddha stopped him. Okay, so if you have not watched the clip, please watch the clip, how the Buddhas suit the heart of Yasa, who actually wanted to commit suicide. Okay, right? So next, please. If you want to have a glance of the 32 marks of a great man, sister, just have a glance of the 32 marks. Yeah, this is the list of the 32 marks. Next. 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 Okay. There's a bump on the crown of the head. Okay, so the next one, wish. Anyone like to share?
Brother Lim, I would like to share.
Yeah.
The Buddha has actually wanted to help others to abstain from their evils, to do good, and also to purify their minds. And that is all done without any benefit to himself, but to the people that he taught. And I think he has successfully accomplished his task as he reached.
Yeah. So the Buddha, thank you, sister. So the Buddha is able to, accomplish his task, okay, as he wish, okay, when helping others to abstain from evil, do good, and purify the mind, okay, for one's own benefit and also for the benefit of others. Okay, and I just want to share something that in us walking the Noble Eightfold Path, in developing the Noble Eightfold Path, it is not just our personal, it does not mean that it's our personal, it only relates to ourselves. It also relates to others, okay? Because the path that we walk, the path that we nurture, the path that we develop, okay, may become a teacher for others. So always remember that, okay? So if we do, if we do bad things, we also influence others. So if we are role model in walking the Noble Eightfold Path, okay, what we do is actually can become a teacher to others who also wishes to walk the Noble Eightfold Path. So always remember, it's not just for one's benefit, but also for the benefit of others, and definitely not to harm others. Okay, the last one, effort. Anyone to share?
Brother Lim?
Yep.
Okay, I would like to express especially this effort really touched me more because I find that the Buddha from the very beginning, the moment he enlightened, he gained enlightenment, he went to seek out the 5 ascetics, and he made them his first 5 students. And then after that, of course, after he gained all his disciples, and when all the disciples, he managed to sort of expound the Eightfold Path to all of them. Everyone of his disciples were deployed to spread the Dhamma to the world. And that is very touching because all these disciples go out with only the ropes on their body and the arms full, and they're all homeless. I mean, in that sense, they live anywhere, and they take whatever food that's offered to them. And then, of course, the final effort of the Buddha, that the final disciple to reach Arahant, with his last dying breath, he also managed to convert him or to help him to become an Arahant. I think that effort is really something that is beyond any of our humanely efforts.
Yeah. And thank you, Sister Yvonne. And also, don't forget, the first 5 ascetics actually boycotted him, left him,
Yes.
Yeah, they left him. Okay.
Because they found that they think that he gave up, and started eating food,
Yeah.
He gave up the path of self-mortification.
Yeah. So you can see that the Buddha does not have any defilements. For normal people like us, people who actually betray us, we will not go to the people who betray us first. We will go to others, right? So the Buddha did not do that. The Buddha did not do that. And the Buddha was very grateful, okay, to the 5 ascetics who actually served him, went together with him before they abandoned him. Yeah, out of misunderstanding. Yeah, for us, even other people out of misunderstanding, the grudge is still within us. So you can see how strong our defilements is, okay, and compared to the Buddha. So let us be inspired by the Buddha. And also, especially during the last disciple, where he converted Tokin Subhadra.
Brother
Okay.
Lim,
Yes.
I just want to add on, before Buddha went to find the 5 disciples, by the river, he did say, if he put his bow on the river, and it should be flowing down, but if the bow flow against the current, then he will go and find the 5 disciples.
Yes.
Is he getting the sign that because I saw the show and all that. It says that is it his action is to make sure that he is doing the right thing. That is the way it has to be. Going against the current, the boom is doing.
I really cannot answer you. Okay, going against the current basically is the spiritual life actually means you are going against our normal mundane life. Okay, it's very different. That is why people go forth. Okay, join the monastic, because the monastic life and our Putujana life is completely different. Okay, it goes against the current of life. Okay, so if you want to truly walk the path, we actually got to go forth. But having said that, it doesn't mean that as a lay people, we are not able to walk the path, because the Buddha says we can still attain enlightenment. Okay, and then many others who did. Okay.
I think.
Excuse me, Brother Lim.
Yeah.
I have something to share as well.
Yes.
I read some times ago, like the Buddha is actually upon his enlightenment.
Yeah.
And he realized that the Dhamma is actually very hard for the normal people to understand.
Yes.
So with his divine eyes, he actually can see or can tell that the five ascetics actually is ready. They're ready to be enlightened.
Yes.
That's why he went for them. That's what I read before.
Yes, yes. And he does that every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before he go out, he does that every morning. He surveys the whole world. Okay. For people who have little dust in their eyes. Okay.
Yes.
So that they can gain enlightenment. Now, always remember, if we have too much dust in our eyes, the Buddha also cannot help us, Okay. That's why the Buddha will survey the world. Okay. I mean, if the individual is not ready for enlightenment, it doesn't possess the qualities to get enlightened, the Buddha also cannot help you. Okay, right? So there are many cases in the suttas where monks actually listen to the discourses by the Buddha and never got enlightened because they are not ready. Okay, they are not ready. Okay, but of course, those who are ready, we also need the help of the Buddha to have the trigger, to trigger off that enlightenment. Without that, also we cannot get enlightened.
That's what applies to this the non-form realm. The Buddha has no is not able to enlighten them because they are not ready to receive the Buddha, the Dhammas from the Buddha.
Yes.
And I don't know, in Theravada, in Mahayana, there's actually it was mentioned that there are five type of characteristics that the Buddha is not able to, to teach them the Dhamma.
Okay.
And I don't know in Theravada if this was mentioned.
If you go into the Abhidhamma, okay, only 3 rooted individuals are able to get enlightened. Okay, 2 rooted. Yeah, cannot.
Oh, what does it mean by 3 rooted and 2 rooted?
3 rooted, you need to have alobha, okay, adosa, and amoha. Okay. So that you have to learn Abhidhamma because of the 3 bad roots is actually lobha, dosa, and moha. Okay, craving, hatred, and also delusion. The opposite is non-greed, non-hatred, and also opposite of delusion is actually panya, wisdom. So you need to have the wisdom root. You don't have the wisdom root. That is why, but that's why he explains sometimes we explain that why some people they die, they go for retreat after retreat, they never gain anything. Okay, and not because they didn't put enough effort, because maybe because in this life they are too rooted. Okay, so how hard you try, you won't be able to get enlightened. You won't be able to get jhana. Okay, but having said that, okay, even though you are too rooted, if you do not practice, you will continue to be too rooted in your future lives. Okay, so although this life you cannot get enlightened, but the effort that you put in your practice in this life, okay, so that in future life you can be reborn as a tree-rooted individual. You see,
Okay.
so
That's
it can change. So it doesn't mean that you, if you're too rooted, you don't do anything because you say, oh, your die also cannot get enlightened. So you don't want to put in any effort. So in that, if you have that attitude, that means you will go round and round. Forever is too rooted. Okay.
okay.
That is why the Buddha encouraged everyone to practice. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you're two rooted or three rooted, because that is the past. Okay, what we are living now is because of our past karma. It's all the causes and conditions that arise with our past karma. Okay, right. So, but doesn't mean we cannot change our future. We can. We can. Okay, that is why we got to practice. Okay, but certain things cannot to change within this lifetime. Okay, so in the future life, it may be different. Okay, next. Okay, now very interesting. I need your participation. A very brief review of the 9 attributes that we have learned. Okay, so Arahant, worthy, and means worthy or accomplished one. Harihata, next. Destroyer of enemies, Kilesa. Anyone want to try Araha in English? Or Ara plus Hata, or Araka, or Raha plus Bawa? Anything, random. Anyone want to try? Just guess, law. Remember the 5 qualities of an Arahant? The destroyer of enemies, Kilesa. That's the number 1, Ari plus Hata. What's the other one? Our first attribute.
Destroyer of defilement.
Yeah, destroyer of enemies is destroyer of defilements. The enemy is the defilement. We don't kill human beings. We kill the defilements. Yeah, next one. Remember there are 5. Yeah, Araha, worthy of offerings. Chapter 1, I forgot already. So now we have a brief review. Otherwise, you will forget forever because today is the last class. So the next one. Anyone? Just, you don't have to match. Yes, destroyer of the spokes of the wheel of rebirth. Yeah, that's where on our first session we learned about Paticca Samuppada. Remember? And how to break the cycle. And the next one, anyone?
Inaccessible by evil.
Yes, inaccessible by evil, devoid of evil deeds. And the next one?
Devoid of empty evil deeds and even in secrets.
Yes. Right, exactly. So this is the Pali words, the combination of the words, okay? And this is the meaning that comes out. So we, at least we remember the English one, okay? Right? Of course, I cannot ask you the English one and then ask you for the Pali, more difficult, right? It's not a Pali class, but we have to remember the 5 different interpretation of the meaning of Arahant. But the main interpretation is it has uprooted all the defilements. Okay, and Arahant has no defilements. And let us, when we practice Buddhanussati, okay, just imagine if we do not have any defilements at all. How wonderful it is. Okay, it's a perfect bliss. Okay, next. Okay, Sammasambuddha. Okay, rightly self-awakened one. okay, attains full enlightenment without a teacher and through self-effort, and also omniscient knowledge and great compassion. Okay, so great compassion for what? Great compassion is without the Buddha, there is no Dhamma for us to learn, you know. We are learning the Dhamma is because of the Buddha. Okay, Arahant do not leave out Dhamma for us to learn. Only the Buddha. Okay, so always remember that. The Buddha left to become a Buddha, or okay, is out of compassion for the world. It's for us. We are the we benefit, okay, from his enlightenment and his teachings. Yeah. So Vicha Charana Sampanno, the third attribute, means endowed with knowledge and conduct. And endowed with knowledge and conduct, we always remember, okay, you give very classic examples when we learn during this session that both knowledge and conduct is equally important. Okay, and how sometimes, even though we receive direct teachings from the Buddha day in, day out, and yet we cannot get enlightened. Okay, and also why we are ready for enlightenment, but we never have the causes and condition to meet the right teacher, okay, to start ignite the spark in us to get enlightened. All right, it's because we only focus on only one aspect. So we need both, okay, knowledge and conduct. So anyone like to try again? Pupe Vivasana. This is the 8 knowledges. We have got the 3 Tevija plus 5. So the first 3, English, number 1, shoot. You all did very well last time.
Previous experience, recalling previous experience.
Yeah. Yes, knowledge of previous assistance. Yes. Next one.
Divine eye.
Yes. Next one. Asawakaya, very easy.
Instruction of all things.
Yes. So this is the other 5. Okay. You got the English one? Sister Sumitra? Yeah.
Inside knowledge.
Yeah. Knowledge of creating mind-made body. Vidivida. Psychic power.
Ear. Divine ear.
Yeah. This one?
Lots of others.
Yeah, knowledge of the thought of others. You can read your thoughts. Okay. In fact, now many of us also experience that certain monks can read your thoughts. Okay, so let's talk about the Buddha's 15 virtuous conduct. Shoot at random. Try to recall from memory. This is to recall from memory.
Restrained by the
Rules of the community.
restrained by the laws, by the rules of law of the
Community.
community.
Yeah, restrained by the rules of the community. It means the patimokkha. Okay, samvara sila. Okay, sila is your virtue of morality. Samvara means restraint. Okay, here actually refers to the patimokkha, the 227 rules of the community, and for the lay community is 5 or 8. Any more? No need to be in order, just shoot.
I always remember moderation in eating
Yeah, moderation in eating.
because scared of growing fat.
Okay, moderation in eating. Yeah.
Restraint of 6 senses.
Very good. Any more? Should anyone let's participate?
Faith.
Yeah.
Strong faith.
Yes.
Wisdom.
Like effort.
And then jhana 1 to jhana 4.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4.
First jhana,
Yes.
second
1, 2,
jhana.
3, 4. Very good.
The devotion to wakefulness.
Shame.
Devotion.
Sense of shame.
Wrongdoing.
Effort.
Wrongdoing.
Otapa.
Otapa.
Yep.
Great knowledge.
Mindfulness.
Yes. Great knowledge. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So all the 15 virtues conduct come out already. And then eight knowledge. Okay, next one. Okay, Sukato means well gone, welcome, well spoken. Come rightly means reborn repeatedly to fulfill the 10 parami. Journey of over 4 incalculable yawns and 100,000 great yawns. Okay, don't forget, during when he was Sumedha, okay, during when he was Bodhisattva Sumedha, he was already fulfill his parami to become an Arahant, you know. Okay, if he had not made his vow before Dipankara Buddha to become the future Buddha, okay, he could have attained Arahantship during that lifetime. So he have to go through all this suffering for us, you know. So let's treasure the Dhamma from the Buddha and be inspired. And not only that, during his last life, he has gone rightly also. Okay, meaning that since he attained enlightenment, okay, coming here, he worked towards Nibbana. So he truly walked the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so he's not in theoretical basis that he's telling, oh, in order to attain enlightenment, you got to walk the Noble Eightfold Path. No. Okay, the Buddha actually observed it. So you got the 3 partition, okay, the Eightfold Path and the method of practice. Okay, and this is an important formula. So spend a few seconds looking at it. Okay, so this is the training that leads to the eradication of Lobha, Dosa, and Moha. Next. Sukato, well gone, welcome, well spoken one. It must be true, it must be factual, it must be beneficial, it must be right time, it must be right place. So bar test beneficial, it must be appropriate, relevant, and realistic, or some they put it right time, right place. Next. Local we do know one of the 3 worlds. Okay, there is the world of formation, world of beings, and the world of space. Yeah, thanks, please. Yeah, so you can have a look. Okay, next. So the 6th attribute, Anuttara Purisa Dhamma Sarati, incomparable trainer of those who can be trained. Okay, and incomparable, okay, in terms of virtue, concentration, and wisdom. Okay, Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, and of course, in deliverance. Deliverance here means emancipation. Okay, he's able to lead us towards attainment of Nibbana and the 4 stages of sainthood, and leader of beings who should and could be trained, right? And of course, teacher of gods and men. Okay, the Buddha taught both celestial beings and human beings according to the tendencies, and also avoid evil, do good, purify the mind. There is a summary of the teachings of the Buddha in short. Okay, and the 5 aggregates of clinging. Y'all want to try know what is the 5 aggregate? Yeah, this is the 5 aggregates. Okay, Yeah. Can you all try to match the simile of the 5 aggregates? Okay. How about Rupa? Anyone? A, B, C, D, E.
Material form.
Yeah. Foam, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, correct. Next one.
Bubble. The bubble?
Water bubble.
Water bubble.
The bubble.
Yeah. Perception.
Illusion.
Mirage.
Yeah. Mental formation, easy.
Plantain tree.
Yes. Banana tree. There's no hardwood inside. Layers and layers. Consciousness.
Magician.
Yes. Okay, so thank you so much, Sister Sumitra. We came up for this. Okay, brief review of chapter 9, the pleasant one. Okay, signifying respect and veneration because of all his qualities. What's the first one?
And knowledge.
Yep. Next one.
Auspicious qualities.
Yes. Next one. Anyone?
What is this?
Hey, this one we just learned only.
And clarification.
Yeah, analyzing and classifying
Oh.
Dhamma. We just learned today only. Any more?
And powers.
Yes, 10 powers of the Tathagata.
6 mundane.
And
6 dhammas.
Yes, 6 mundane Dhamma that we just learned.
Dhamma. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Okay, now discussion. Okay. What have you learned from the attribute of Bhagawa today? From your own understanding and perspective. Any sharing, please? Discussion is all your platform, 100%.
Brother Lim,
Yes.
yeah, I'd like to share something, just a little one.
Yeah, sure.
From the 10 power of the Bhagawa,
Yeah.
I always deeply inspired by the Buddha's effort, because this is the only I would say that the basic starting point for me to start with. The rest, like the wisdom, is so hard, but the effort is something I can start with a little bit by little bit. That's
Yes.
what I learned from this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially there's a Dhammapada saying that every small drop of water, okay, counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bit by bit, like even Malay say, sikit-sikit jadi bukit, So let's not give up. Be consistent in our practice. Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Brother Lim, if I may try.
Yes.
Basically, in Buddhism, the concept of God is there. There are many gods and Brahmas, but basically the question of one God doesn't arise. From this chapter, what I understand is Buddha has attained both the mundane and the supramundane,
Yes.
which elevates him even above the gods and the Brahmas. He is the highest seat of knowledge. That's what I understand from this chapter. I mean, the best takeaway I can figure out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. In fact, there's in some scholars they does not believe in the that the Buddha taught to the Devas. And some scholars do not believe that Abhidhamma was taught by the Buddha, okay, in the heavenly realms. So when we learn about the attributes of the Buddha, it is one of the attributes. Just like you mentioned. Yeah. Okay. because the modern scholars, they are more scientific. They don't believe in all these spiritual powers. They don't believe in psychic power. They say all rubbish. Okay, so that is in a way, when you say that, in a way, you actually do not have faith in the triple gem to a certain extent. Yes. Okay. Now, any others come? Let's share.
Brother Lim, for me,
Yes.
our teacher, the Lord Buddha, is really all-knowing.
Yes.
I mean, you see, like he knows how to teach to the humans, you know. And I believe also the way he teaches his disciples are also different from how he teaches the laymen.
Yes.
Because I think when he teaches the disciples, they've reached a certain understanding. They already have a profound knowledge. So the way the Buddha teaches his disciples is different from how he teaches the man on the street. For instance, I always remember that part of the story when this man ran after Buddha and scolded the Buddha, insulted the Buddha, and said that because he started this Sangha, you know, the sons, the nephews and brothers all renounced and became monks. So the story that I recall is when the guy scolded him, and then the Buddha told him, you know, when you give somebody a gift, and if that somebody doesn't accept that gift, where is the gift? Where does the gift remain? And the guy said, the gift remains with me. So then the Buddha said, so if you hurl insults at me, I don't accept it, that means the insult remain with you, you know?
Yeah.
And he knows how to deliver it to a layman, a person, ordinary man. He knows how to teach the disciples. He also knows how to teach the devas. So to this, you see that he is blessed. I mean, he's really blessed because he have that supreme knowledge of knowing how to teach every single, being, all the beings in the 31 realms of existence. And that is really inspiring to know, it's really no normal feat, for a person, because at that time he's still a normal human being, and sometimes with that kind of understanding, it really inspires us. Of course, we can never emulate the Buddha, but at least with the faith of his teachings, we can try to be good students and do justice to his efforts.
Yeah.
This is what I feel.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah. Any other sharing? Yeah, try to share. Everyone try to participate, because by saying it out, you're actually highlighting that particular attribute, okay, for you to be inspired by, okay, and as a guide in your daily life. Any more sharing, please? Sister Linda, I'd like to share because I see the screen in front of me.
Thank you, brother. Okay.
Okay.
For me, Lord Buddha is really not only for the great teacher among us, but he also have a great compassion.
Yes.
Through his last day, like before Parinibbana, he also have the given the opportunity to the Buddha throughout, maybe he the oldest disciple, and then the last disciple he also still take in. So throughout, maybe Lord Buddha at that time also not really comfortable on their body or the sickness or everything, but he also really have a great compassion.
Yes. Yeah. So the Buddha has the greatest compassion. Maha Karuna. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? One more, one last one for this. What have you learned from the attribute?
Brother Lim?
Yes.
Because the Buddha is such a blessed being, he was blessed with auspicious characters and knowledge, so we can take refuge to the Buddha and feel protected.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So this is today's attribute lah, Bhagawa. Yeah. We feel we can take refuge from the Buddha. Very, very true, very true. Okay, so next question. Which attribute of the Buddha speaks to you most? Okay, and how have you been practicing with that attribute? That's interesting. Or you just learn in theory and not putting into practice in our daily life. Yeah, like anyone like to share?
Yeah, Brother Lim.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, it's basically the most the attribute that the most I am really like hit me is Arahant.
Yes.
The destroyer of the defilement that like make me like to remember that I have to practice and to be like the Buddha, like to destroy all the defilements. So yeah, and especially thanks also for you and I think Yvonne who like recommend us to join the WISE organization.
Yes.
That really also like help to like the technique improve our my mindfulness. You know,
Yes.
like when every time the mind kick something's unwholesome thought, it's like right away, boom, and then remember about Arahant.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Sister Siritara. Okay, so anyone else want to share? What have you been practicing with the attribute?
Brother Lee, maybe I like to share. I think what touched me most is the Buddha, the Four Noble Truths.
Okay.
You know, and how can we do it in our daily life?
Yes.
So by knowing it in details, we will know about the suffering and how with the Arahant, you know, how to get rid of the defilement, and then how to find the solution to recognize it first and then find solution on how to get rid of it. Then we can also think about how to overcome it and carry out in our daily life, you know, with the Eight Noble Path. So I think when especially in meditation, it has been good because you know you know about all the defilement and we have monkey minds and all. So if we concentrate on one of the attributes, we will be able to concentrate on, like, for example, the Four Noble Truths and how we do, and how the joy of being able to get rid of the defilement, so you be able to get the joy. So it really did help me the most is the Buddha. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Sue. Yeah, just to share about enlightenment. It is the mind that gets enlightened, not the body. The body cannot get enlightened. It's the mind. Okay, so if you are all of you are encouraged to join programs organized by WISE. Okay, just a short introduction. Okay, WISE Foundation started by a couple and a team of people. Okay, Teacher Tak Lun and Sister Laifan, but the couple. And they are disciples, lay disciples of Sayadaw U Tejaniya. Okay, and Sayadaw U Tejaniya's teacher is actually Shumin Sayadaw. Okay, and if you go to Myanmar, Shumin Sayadaw is recognized by many Burmese as an Arahant. Okay, before he started Shumin lineage, he was also from the Mahasi lineage. Okay, in fact, Mahasi Sayadaw appoint him, as the right-hand man, and he was in charge of Mahasi Meditation Center for many years. Okay, almost 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. If you want, I can give you the biography. Okay, but after that, he left and he started Shumin Meditation Center. And that's where he gained his glory, okay, and respect to all. Okay, and the focus is on watching the mind, okay, mindfulness in terms of how the mind relate to the defilements. So you're highly encouraged to explore this opportunity or this aspect of meditation. Okay, talking about the Noble Eightfold Path, I just like to share that Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination, is equally important. Okay, in fact, Paticca Samuppada and Noble Eightfold Path are similar. Okay, the theoretical aspect is actually dependent origination, the theory. The practice is the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so for understanding, we need to understand the causes and conditions. You know, you got to understand Paticca Samuppada. But how to practice in daily life, that is the Noble Eightfold Path. So ideally, it's both. Okay, because the Buddha did say, you know, that if you are able to see the the Paticca Samuppada, you are able to see the Dhamma. Okay, and if you are able to see the Dhamma, you will also see Paticca Samuppada. So Paticca Samuppada is actually a summary of the Buddha Dhamma. Okay, avoid evil, do good, purify the mind is a summary of the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, and then there's another term that I would like to share is the middle path. Majjhima Patipada. So a lot of us lay people, we like to use, we interpret it in a wrong way. We say the middle path in Buddhism, everything is moderation. We always walk the middle path. We always say that. And to us, the middle path means the middle path. That means everything in moderation. Actually, this is not what the Buddha taught. The middle path is not the middle path, okay? Okay, because like, for example, sati, mindfulness. The Buddha didn't tell you you have to be moderate in being mindful, you know, or moderate in doing unwholesome deeds, you know. The Buddha didn't say that. The Buddha said, don't do even this. They never ask you to be moderate. So sometimes you can find that among many Buddhists, they interpret the Buddha's teaching in their own understanding, which is actually wrong view. Okay, so actually how the middle path comes in is actually the middle path, middle here means transcend. It transcend over. Okay, why middle? Because during the time of the Buddha, there's two extreme school of thoughts, of religious thoughts. Okay, and the Buddha came out with the Four Noble Truths. That is why it is called the middle path. It's not moderation. Okay, one more. Next question, please.
Can I expand a bit, Brother Lim, on the middle path?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, because I'm also a follower of teacher Tak Lun in the Wise. This is very beautiful understanding of what middle path should be. I think many of us know the yin yang, right?
Yeah.
The yin yang, one side is black, one side is white, and then the S line in between. The middle path actually is that white line in between, that separation between the black and the white. So in other words, it's actually, if you look at it, it's equanimous. That means it's neither wholesome or unwholesome, you know, neither in that sense. So that middle path is where we should try to strive for. That means if we reach a stage where we are not, I mean, in that, we sit in that middle section, I'm not explaining it as well as he is, it means that we have reached equanimity. So equanimity, that means we are not affected. So actually the path of Vipassana is actually quite similar. Yesterday we did there was a sharing and he talked about recognition. Recognition is what we should strive for, not to do and not to undo. So say, for instance, during our meditation, we realize there's an aversion, there's an anger. And what happened is that in that anger, you're not supposed to delve into it, because once you delve into it, it becomes an attachment to find out why there is an aversion. The Vipassana, that is the middle path, means is just to realize it, to understand it, to note it, to recognize it, and that's it. Whilst wisdom will do the rest, because it is believed that we go through the same experience every time. Say, for instance, aversion. There's a lot of cases of aversion that come up, but they are all similar. And all these kind of defilements have a similar flavor. For instance, if you're jealous, you will notice it because it has got very sour feeling, you know. So what is very inspiring about it is, as it's a repeated thing that come into the consciousness, where repeated experience, when we recognize it later on, when it comes on, you will know. So that's where the wisdom comes. That is the beauty of the teaching. So this is just something I'd like to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Yvonne. So I hope some of you would like to explore this opportunity. Okay.
Yeah, Brother Lim.
Yes.
Excuse me, Brother Lim. I have something to share as well. That's what I understand. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
This we understand the concept of emptiness in Buddhism, and this middle path is actually how we practice in our daily life, and this is how the Buddha come up with this middle path. And middle path or middle way to me is like when you see something, you just see them as they are, and when something, whether it's aversion arise, we don't have, or anything good arise, we don't have any attachment or expectation or rejection towards this thing. We just observe. So this is middle path to my understanding.
Thank
Just
you so much, Mr. Boy. Yeah. So just watching it as it is, we also need to have the right information and the right attitude. Otherwise, we will not observe it as it is. Okay, just to add on. Okay, next one, please. Okay, how do you usually pay reference to the Buddha? Okay, so how does this study change the way you revere the Buddha? Okay, it sort of sum up how these 9 attributes of the Buddha has benefited you, not only in terms of knowledge, but in terms of your behavior and your perspective in paying reference to the Buddha. Anyone like to share? Anyone? Come, please.
I think when we chant at time, there is more content to what we chant. Because last time we just chant Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma. But with this study, we realize there is a content, there is a deeper inspiration. That means, in other words, we now know the meaning of the chant. So when we chant, I think we should also reflect, like Sayale, what she has taught us is to reflect on the virtues of the Buddha, so that I think at the end of the day, for us to go on this journey, faith is very important. I think this is actually the first of the 5 spiritual faculties, faith. Yes. We start with faith. Why? Because we are not there yet. We can only bank on faith. Faith in the Buddha to go on to this path, because none of us have realized the path. If we are like scientists, that only believe in things as you research and find out the truth, then none of us will be on this path. So this 9 attributes is very important in giving that faith in us, trusting, a total trust in the teachers, whatever that the Dhamma has been given to us, even though it's only theoretical, so that we can actually continue with it. So I think this 9 attributes is very important for us to sort of build on the faith, to increase the faith that we have in the teachings.
Okay, thank you, Sister Yvonne. And also to encourage Buddhanusati, contemplation of the 9 attributes, okay, as a form of meditation. Okay, frankly speaking, how many of you does Buddhanusati? Anyone? So hopefully we do it on a daily basis, okay, like to strengthen our faith in the Buddha. And in fact, in many Buddhist societies, they only emphasize on 2. There is Vipassana meditation and Samatha meditation, okay. Buddhanusati is hardly spoken of, we hardly do, okay. Even in Metta Lodge, after so many years, I doubt anyone conducted any Buddhanusati. Okay, and many of the old members after 30, 40 years have not even experienced once what is Buddhanusati, or really go deep into the meaning of the 9 attributes of the Buddha, although one may recite the 9 attributes for 30, 40 years. Okay, even though you have the English translation, but you don't understand it and you don't put into practice in the daily life, you don't get inspired by it. So hopefully through this study group, we get inspired by it. And this last class, okay, is the beginning, a small tiny step towards your new journey to strengthen the faith in the Buddha. Anyone else? One or two more sharing before we go on to the next. Any more?
Yeah, Brother Lim, when I do my praying to the Buddha, I also do my repentance.
Yes.
That's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Brother Ko, are you there? You like to say something, Brother Ko? Brother Ko Chiwat? You like to unmute yourself and share something?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Luckily, my mic is working.
Yeah, thank you.
All this while, my mic is not working.
Okay.
So I couldn't share much.
Yeah. So the causes and condition is for you to speak and share your wisdom now.
Not really. I'm actually learning. I'm learning a lot from you too through this particular series of Buddha Nusati.
Yeah.
Personally, I think, as what Sister Yvonne says, it's actually very useful after going through this course that I'm much able to apprehend the words that we chant in Pali. That's one. Secondly, I think we also went into in-depth understanding of the virtues and the qualities of Buddha. So that, in a way, would actually enhance my faith, as well as I believe the participants' faith as well, with regards to the Buddha's qualities and his skills of doing things as what he has done, as per recorded in the suttas. So at least, because I'm spending a lot of time on the Abhidhamma study as well as Sutta study, so in fact, it actually reinforced the confidence that I have on Abhidhamma and the Sutta studies I've been following with so many of the teachers. In fact, this particular 2 years of NCO has been very, very beneficial for me, and it's a great blessing too that so many of the organizations that actually go into Zoom, going into into virtual study, conduct virtual studies for many of us throughout the world. So I do appreciate that, and I also appreciate your efforts for having bring these Appamada's courses into Metta Lodge and into Johor Bahru. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, one or two more, please. Anyone who have not spoken, do you like to volunteer? Anyone? Anyone want to volunteer, please? Anyone? Let me, otherwise I go to Sister Doris. Like to share. I want to hear your voice. Thank you, Brother Ko, for sharing. Sister Doris from B2B Unison Chanting. Thank you, Brother Ko. Sister Doris, can I unmute? You're not muted. You're still muted, Sister Doris. Yeah, thank you. You're still not muted already. Highlight already. Go on screen already. Okay.
Doris, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, you need to unmute yourself. Okay. Thank you, Sister Doris.
I think this course is very good. I learn more. I'm not a true Buddhist as everybody. I learn more. I learn the in-depth meaning. And I think it's good that we learn more and more and try to practice whatever is the good virtues of the Buddha.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, any more? If not, we proceed next.
Can I?
Yeah, please.
I'm really grateful to the Shayale and then Brother Ling for conducting these courses, because previously, maybe as I know, like the sister Yvonne say, only for the chanting and then the English translation, but not really deep go into the what's the meaning and the other exploration from the meaning, and then really many things to learn, and then just got to know I still need to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see any one of us, when we practice Buddhanusati, whether tears will actually roll out from our eyes. Okay, it is good, if tears roll out from our eyes, okay, when we contemplate on the attributes of the Buddha. That means it's really affected you deep in your heart. Okay, the attributes of the Buddha. You are a true inspiration. Just before we share the merits, okay, on behalf of the organizers, on behalf of AVMC, and on behalf of Metta Lodge, and on behalf of the facilitators, and also on behalf of every one of us, okay, and thank you so much for your participation. And if by deed, speech, or thought, okay, heedlessly have we done anything wrong, we seek everyone's forgiveness, and let's move on and make Buddhanusati part of our daily practice and walk the Noble Able Path to be inspired by the 9 attributes of the Buddha. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Back to you, sister. Sugiyonto, brothers and sisters, after this sharing of merits, we still got 2 more items to go. We have not finished yet. Okay. First thing is, could we have on your camera so that we can have a good photo? Okay, because I think we have never taken any photo for 9 attributes of the Buddha. I think it's a nice last session. Sister Sumitra, yes, we get a photo. Please on your camera. Okay, whoever is present. And after that, we are going to have a casual discussion. Okay, just a casual discussion. And what we will do is we hope that you could come up one by one, every one of us, participants, to say, first thing, maybe introduce yourself, okay, your name to everybody, not just to me, okay, because since we started, we have actually no time for self-introduction, if you notice it, okay, at least before, at the end of the class, just introduce yourself, show your face, okay, and just say one or two words, one or two parting words from you, okay, and give any kind of feedback, good or bad, okay, so that we can improve in future courses for the benefit of everyone. Thank you. Yeah. So, Sister Sumitra, all yours. Photograph.
I've already taken the photograph. Now can you start discussing?
Oh, so fast,
Yeah.
Just now I didn't smile.
Okay, I'll do that again.
Okay.
Okay, done.
Thank you. So anyone like to share, introduce your name, and then say 1 or 2 words, give some feedback about the courses. And also, I would like to encourage you all to come forward to volunteer yourself as volunteers, okay, whether for Metta Lodge or AVMC, it does not matter. Okay, AVMC is coming up with a lot of programs. In fact, I already missed 2 meetings with them. Okay, In the same time today, during this course, there's a meeting for facilitators in AVMC. I could not attend because of this class. Okay, so just to share. Okay, they are coming up with a lot of programs, and even the layout of the 9 attributes of the Buddha, there might be changes. Okay, and being a facilitator in AVMC, I get to understand their programs, and also they will share lah, whatever things they want to implement, and that's where I also learn. Okay, and what is good, I will try to implement for Metta Lodge, and what is suitable for them, not suitable for Metta Lodge, I will filter them out. So get the best of both worlds. Okay, and now Metta Lodge is not only working with AVMC, we are trying to work together with WISE Foundation, and we are also trying to work together with the Unison Chanting, and we are going to work along with many more Buddhist society. Okay, thank you very much. Any volunteers, please? We extend about 5-10 minutes today, is okay lah. Before 11, we will close it.
If I may.
Yes.
Okay. See, before, like you said,
you must introduce yourself as Brother Brajit from India. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Brajit now. I'm from India. I'm based in New Delhi. I'm a shipping and logistics consultant.
Yeah. And one more thing you need to say: when you come to India, come and find me, so that I can host you.
Okay. My journey with Buddhism started with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I was lucky to get an invite to his special class and get ordained by him in Tibetan Buddhism. From there, I went on to Vipassana. But Brother Lim, like you rightly said, nobody discusses the 9 attributes of the Buddha. It's directly, they go without knowing the background. This is the basis of everything, the 9 attributes. And in these classes, I am better off with knowledge than what I was before joining. So I feel I have gained a lot here, and it just changed my perspective for the better. So now, when I continue my Buddhist journey, I would be better equipped to understand what's happening around me, not just going and falling into Vipassana class, 10 hours into 10 days, without knowing what is happening. Now we know what is the jara and the, what are basic concept, which so nicely put in one book. This book is like an encyclopedia or a directory, which for a layperson, somebody who's new to Buddhism, you just throw the book at them and you say, read this, and then you would have a bird's eye view of everything. So I thank you, Evelyn, Sister Sumitra, the organizers, for doing such wonderful service for the Dhamma, and also lifting we poor souls out of misery and dukkha, and teaching us the value of anicca and anatta, basically. So thank you once again. We have to be in touch. Very, very important.
Yeah,
because it's not you do 9 classes and that's it. We are all arahants and we can go. It's not like that. It's continuous practice is Dhamma. Dhamma is not a destination. It is a journey. It has to be done daily. Like we brush our teeth. You can't brush your teeth one day and say, rest of the year I won't brush, I'll be okay. So Dhamma is like brushing your teeth, taking a bath. You have to do it day in, day out. Practice makes perfect. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Sadhu.
Nice. Sadhu. Nice knowing everybody.
Just before I go, I forget. Okay, I just like to announce that Metta Lodge will be starting the 9 attributes of the Buddha, the new study group in Mandarin. Okay, it will commence on 7th of April. Okay, on every Thursday, 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So if you have friends who are Chinese educated, who wants to join the 9 attributes of the Buddha, please let me know. Okay, we are going to start on 7th of April. Okay, thank you so much. I'm not conducting because my Mandarin is no good at all. Okay, yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else come?
Since brother, sorry.
Yeah.
Brother Lim, since you mentioned about introduction, maybe Sister Sumitra could introduce herself first.
Yeah, Sister Sumitra. Try to cut short, everyone, because we're running out of time.
Okay, Nama Budaya, I'm Sumitra Khan from Batu Pahat. I've joined Metta Lodge for quite some time, but I'm not, I don't really practice like a Buddhist practitioner. I'm just come look and see. But I'm very grateful that there are opportunities given to me, because when we are involved in the team, by hook and by crook, you need to learn something instead of coming to join empty-handed and not doing any preparation. So I thanks Metta Lodge for giving me an opportunity to learn more seriously than I was before. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And before we go on, I would like to say sadhu very much to Sister Sumitra. Okay, although we have been given the PowerPoint slides from AVMC, okay, and Sister Sumitra has actually upgraded the PowerPoint slides. Okay, she has put in a lot of effort in changing, and I think AVMC greatly appreciate it. I think they're asking for our PowerPoint slides now. Last time we asked from them, now I think they're asking from us. So at least you see that we, on our part, we do contribute to improve the 9 attributes of the Buddha. Okay, sadhu, Sister Sumitra. Yeah, Sister Lai Chan, just now you were like to say something?
Thank you, Brother Lim. Actually, Sister Sumitra has done very well. Yes. And also, I like the sharing from Sister Yvonne. And thank you, Brother Lim, for giving me the second chance. This is the second time I joined the class. I know much better. I started late, so my memory not so good. According to this time of lockdown, give me a lot of time to study. During young days, I was very busy. Though at my old age now, I'm 84 now. I think still not too late. I can catch up. Continue to learn from Metta Lodge. Thank you, Brother Lim.
Sadhu. Yeah. Metta Lodge, we're going to start a new membership program. Okay, we call it what you call an associate member. And I would definitely invite most of you who reside outside the Johor state or Malaysians to become associate member of Metta Lodge, so that we can work together and what you call gain from the activities and programs organized by Metta Lodge. And those staying outside Malaysia, you're welcome to become devotees of Metta Lodge. Even better, no subscription, nothing, no need to fill any form, just become devotees. So we will keep in touch. Thank you so much. Anyone else like to continue, please?
Brother Lim and brother and sister,
yes,
I'm Lim Jin Yong.
Yeah.
I'm Lim Jin Yong here.
Yeah.
I would like to thanks for the recording, because I have very poor memory. If without the recording, I would not be able to catch up with this course. So I would like to thank the personnel who have done the recording. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just to let you know regarding the recording, before this course, I conducted another course. There was no recording at all, okay, because the recording needs the consent of every participant, okay? Because the former course, there were a few who do not agree to the recording, so we could not do the recording. But fortunately, for this course, all participants agree. Okay, that is why we do not want the recording to be shared outside this group, because certain sharing is very personal. So we do not want it to put in the what you call in the mass media. Okay, right? So please understand. So hopefully, as long as all the participants agree, okay, so we will do the recording for the benefit of everybody, especially like Brother Chi Young, okay, who have poor memory or people who miss the class, especially. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Brother Chi Young, for attending. Brother Chi Young is also a Metta Lodge member. Anyone else? Come, everyone, please try. Try to
Okay, I
introduce
just do
yourself.
a brief one.
Yeah, just a brief one. Just your name, that's it.
Okay, I'm Sister Yvonne Loh.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the Vice Chairman of Metta Lodge. And of course, my job is to support and back Brother Lim. He does most of the work. I'm the verbal person, the communication person. So we are all trying the new exco, or the exco, actually not new exco. This exco is trying to move Metta Lodge forward now in different ways. So with everybody's support, and also rightly that Brother Lim is mentioning of associate members, we need to build new members outside of Metta Lodge to come in and join our programs. Even though we say that, of course, basically the government allows physical, but I think since we have this opportunity to go on Zoom, and it can actually reach out to different people, Buddhists around the world, we will probably continue with this as a hybrid program. Of course, locals, if we have physical members, can always come back to Metta Lodge. But if not, then I think, right, Brother Lim, this will probably be the mode that continues for us to build the membership. So it's good for the associate members to come in and to be in contact with us, come into our Metta Lodge sharing group, because we always have good things to share. I must give credit to Brother Lim. He has also shared a whole series of the Buddha, the life of the Buddha stories. It's an award-winning movie about the Buddha. And some of the stories that he mentioned, actually, it's in that movie. And it's very short clips. It doesn't take a long memory span or attention span. I think each movie only lasts about 2-3 minutes. But it captures the essence of many of the Buddha's very important teachers, many of his challenges and all that. So please come into the group, and participate. Then you know exactly what Metta Lodge is doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Yvonne. Yeah, any other sharing, please?
Yeah, I'm Siritara.
Yes.
From Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would I'm really thankful to you, Brother Lim, and Sister Sumitra, and all other Metta Lodge team that have organized this Dhamma session. It is very good, very beneficial, and it improved my Dhamma knowledge, and I'm very thankful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sister. Can we visit you in Canada?
Sure.
Yeah, Sister Boy.
Yeah, hi, I'm Hui Ling. I originally am from Penang, so I'm now staying in Sydney, Australia. So I'm very grateful to this this course. Like, I learned a lot from Brother Lim, and all of you. You are my teachers, and I really inspire, by the effort and the commitment you put in, like Sister Sumitra, Brother Lim, and all of you actually. And also truly inspired by, so many Malaysians. They are all very good practitioners in Buddhism. I truly inspire. Never before I knew that we have a lot of Malaysians. They are actually doing very well. I mean, practice very well. And I hope one day when I go back to Malaysia, I can see you in person. Yeah. And one more thing is that this is just a start. This course is just a start for our journey. I hope that we can keep this group chat, the WhatsApp group chat, and all the class material still there available to us. This is my hope. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Allow me to interrupt. Actually, all the material are kept in the Google Classroom, so you can access to it anytime. Shall post the link to the group again. So anything you need, please, you have look into it. Thank you.
So what if I'm not subscribed this Google Classroom? Can I still, is it the same content as we have in the WhatsApp?
almost the same, but not all, because in the WhatsApp group there were abundance of videos and links provided, but I only pick certain things which I think is relevant to the course, then I store it in the Google Classroom. Regarding the WhatsApp group, you need to refer to Brother Lim. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't worry, we will discuss in the WhatsApp group. Thank you,
Okay.
sister. Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, we normally we will keep the group, but I'm thinking of combining with the other two groups because I still have another 2 or 3 9 attributes of the Buddha group. So instead of having too many groups, I actually started one alumni, for 9 attributes of the Buddha. So we get lump all together. So you see how it goes. Okay. Anyone else, please?
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Hello, yes, sister.
Yeah.
Yo.
Good morning. I'm
Morning.
Yo. I'm Yo
Yes.
here.
Yes.
I'm very grateful for the Brother Lim, Sister Sumitra, Sister Yvonne, and all the APMC organizing team who give me the opportunity to participate in this session. And I really learned a lot, and I'm hoping to put into practice. Because like you say, all the while we are chanting without knowing deeply into the essence of the 9 attributes of the Buddha. So now I realize that it's a great importance that we have to master this Dhamma and put into our daily use. And I found that I've become more calm and more mindful now. And my emotions are a bit controlled, not trying to control my emotions. So I think I will continue, and it's a really benefit to me. And I'd like to thank all the organizing team, and may you all be happy, healthy, and blessed.
Thank you so much, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sister Yo. Anyone else?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Sister So from KL.
Yes.
I've been chanting Itipiso for 108 times for years, but today I realized that, I have not truly understand the meaning of it. So today is the end of the class, but it's the beginning of me to further study and join the group and do the Google form of practicing my Itipiso chanting again. I would like to be grateful and thankful to all the participation and all for sharing. Thank you. Sadhu.
Thank you so much, Sister. Yeah, thank you. Some centers chant Itipiso for 108 times, including Mangala Vihara, Singapore. Okay, so it's good to chant 108 times to settle down your mind, compose, and after that, you go to contemplate on the attributes one by one. Yeah, that would be even more meaningful. Okay, the initial chanting is actually to calm the mind, to tranquil the mind, the full Itipiso. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Sister To. Yeah, anyone else? Come, everyone, please say something.
I would
yes, Sister Susu.
I would like to thank Brother Lim for your really good explanation that I am able to see and connect all the dots on the night from the 9 attributes. And I would like to really thank Sister Sumitra for her support. I miss out some of the things, and she really did support my request. And I would like to thank all the participants for their teaching. So thank you very much, and I really gained a lot from these 9 attributes of the Buddha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sister Su. Anyone else, please, who has not spoken? Make it a fast one, please. Sister Yuan, yeah, like to say a few words. Just a short one.
How to get? Yes. I'm Sister Yuan from Metta Lodge. I joined Metta Lodge in 2013, and I wasn't very serious about Buddhism until Brother Lim started teaching us Abhidhamma. So I'm very grateful to Brother Lim who made me more conscious about Buddhism. So, and for today, I'd like to thank Brother Lim for conducting such a wonderful course, which I learned so much for this 9 attribute of the Buddha, and Sister Sumitra for helping to run the course, to conduct the course so well. Thank you for everybody for being here, and thanks for being able to learn so much for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Anyone else? Vicky, the first one?
I just, is this very noisy enough?
Yes, yes, Linda. Sister
Okay,
Linda from
I knew myself very noisy here.
Yeah.
I want to take this opportunity to say thankful, and I'm so grateful, to Metta Lodge for organizing this class. I find that this is actually a very enlightening, nourishing, and I really appreciate very much. And I learned a lot from this class, and even a better understanding. So I will keep practicing with Atapi. So, and at the same time, I just take this opportunity to wish everyone well and happy. So that's why I just say a short one, because it's quite noisy. I need to off it. Sadhu, sadhu, everyone.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu.
Especially now to Brother Lim and Sister Sumita for sharing so much, and it's really helped me to understand a lot of things easier.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank you, thank you.
Sister Linda from Unison Chanting. Anyone else? Some has left already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Sister Linda. Yeah, unmute yourself, please.
Okay, I'm Linda. Stay home to everyone. Thank you, Brother Lim and Sister Sumita, for having me here. I'm from Toronto, Canada, so nothing much about Dhamma happening here. So I'm benefited from the Zoom Dhamma talks this past 2 years. Thank you so much. Especially to Brother Lim, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. Those little extras you put apart from the outside the book, it's truly the things that make this class livelier. Thank you, Brother Lim.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, host us when we go and visit Toronto.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, thank you.
Hi,
anyone else? Yeah, thanks,
I'm
please.
here
Yes.
from Klang. But my childhood was in Johor Bahru. I've heard of Lodge, from my sisters. I just want to take the opportunity to thank Sailis Susila from AVN, Brother Lim, and all the facilitators. It has very much strengthened my faith and the understanding of Buddha Nusati. And I wish everyone well and continue the journey of the practice. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Anyone else? Anyone else before we call it? Thank you, Sister Dancy.
I think Brother Bucks.
Yes, Brother Bucks just came in. Yeah, Brother Bucks, please.
Sukihotu, everyone. Now Budaya. So I want to say something. I think we're very glad Brother Lim, Brother Sumita, Sister Sumitra, and also Yvonne. They actually we are very lucky because they came from heaven. They came from to Sita heaven to come down to expound the Buddha Sasana to us. So I can say, today is the last class, and everybody has gained. Like Sister Toha say, she has chanted this 9 tribute of the Buddha for so many times, and she doesn't have the understanding. But because of this class, now we already have a good understanding. So this is a very big thing. I don't think it's a very small thing. But Brother Lim and Sister Sumitra, and of course the other people in the Metta Lodge, this is actually a big thing. It is a small thing like that that makes the Buddha Sasana strive and flourish, and this is the benefit for everyone, not just for ourselves, but a benefit for everyone. So a very big sadhu for Metta Lodge for taking up this, And we as ABMC, we don't know the right word to say, because it's more than thank that he has already took up this. In fact, Metta Lodge is the first outside Pamada to take up this task of spreading the Dhamma in a proper way. And I can see everyone has gained. So this is the result. This is the result of having to go to a class like that, a Dhamma study group. So I hope you all band together, don't disintegrate, because the Buddha spent 45 years to expound the Buddha Sasana, the teaching of the Buddha. So I hope you band together with Brothers Lim's extreme knowledge. His knowledge is not just on his head, everywhere. And we will continue to gain this from Brother Lim. He's a very learned person, a very nice person, and we want Brother Lim to continue, to spread the Dhamma to as many people as possible, and continue to enlighten us, because we are like what in the one of the sutta, the Buddha, when after enlightenment, the Buddha says, I have found the Dhamma, which is so profound and something new. Not many can see. People have dust in the eyes. So there was a Deva Samyapati, if I'm not forgotten. He says to the Buddha, please, some of us has a lot of dust, but some have little dust. Please teach us the Dhamma. So with that, he gave us a chance to learn the Dhamma. So Brother Lim is here to take our dust off our eyes. don't go away. Continue to teach us the Dhamma. And as ABMC, we continue to have a program. There's one coming up on the 20th March, where Saleh is going to talk about burden. Barha with Sutta, about burden, so much burden that we have in our life. So that will be under Shah Alam Buddhist Society. You have to go in 9 o'clock on the 20th of March. Then we are also having meditation, guided meditation by Saleh Susila every week, starting on the 12th of March. 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 1 hour. We will do guided meditation by her. And then we're also going to start what we call Sutta study. We're going to start off with the Dhamma Cakkappavattana Sutta in April, starting on 2nd of April. Every Saturday, there's one class starting at 9 o'clock, about the same time as we are doing it now here. Right? For four weekends. In April, there are 5 weekends, but we are taking up 4 weekends just to learn the Dhamma Cakkappavattana Sutta, which is the first discourse that put the Dhamma in wheel in motion. Right? So these are the things that we are doing, and hopefully we will learn together. We'll learn more from Saleh Susila. She's very learned, and we have to do whatever we need to do, because very rare we get these learned people to teach us the Dhamma, especially Malaysian monastic to teach us the Dhamma. All right, so I have said so much already. So I wish everyone a pleasant journey in your Buddha learning, and wherever you are, whether you're in Canada, whether in Klang, whether in Bandar Utama, Johor, Singapore, I wish you all the best in your practice. So I'd like to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm being flattered by Brother Bucks. Okay.
Brother Bucks, Brother Bucks, can I reconfirm to you the guided meditation from Sayare? It start on the 12th of March.
12th of March, every week once.
Okay, thanks.
8 o'clock at night, bukan pagi ya, malam. Malam,
okay,
don't. What we do, we have actually circulate the poster and also the link, the Zoom link. Can we share again afterwards in your group? This group F, right?
Yeah.
This is group Metta Lodge group. Yeah, I will share again. So everybody can go in. But the Dhamma Cakkappavattana Sutta, we have not announced it, because the poster we need to correct a little bit. Then in the next couple of days, then we will announce the Sutta study for Dhamma Cakkappavattana Sutta.
So the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, that's the first discourse of the Buddha. I will encourage everyone to join in. It's going to be a very big project. From my understanding from Brother Bucks, we are looking about maybe 100 to 200 people coming in to join this course.
Yes.
So all are invited. Okay, and I think Siale has put in a lot of effort in developing this Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Okay, and that is why it's spread over 4 weekends. Okay, so please join and treasure this precious gem, this precious Dhamma gem. And also from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Bucks, that Siale Susila, for the weekly meditation, she's going to teach you various methods of meditation,
Yes.
It's not just one method, So it may be, every week she may change a different meditation technique. So she's trying to share whatever knowledge she has, okay, through her experience so far until today, okay, with every one of us. So don't miss the opportunity to learn from a teacher who's willing to share all the experiences and knowledge with us. So let's treasure the Dhamma gem. Sadhu, sadhu. And with that, thank you very much. May all be well and happy, and may the Buddha Sasana flourish for a long, long time. Thank you very much. See you soon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, everybody. Sadhu.